Hi, thanks for joining me. So this is just going to be a quick video. We're at the end of January 2023 and I'm just going to give a rundown of a few recommendations of films that I watched during January. I saw 50 movies. I'm not going to go through 50, so here's just a few recommendations. First up we have the 1991 film Dogfight, directed by Nancy Savoca and starring River Phoenix and Lili Taylor. Great movie this. It's about Marines who are about to go off to Vietnam, and on their final night they're out on the town and they decide to have a wager called a dogfight, in which each Marine is meant to bring along to a party the ugliest girl that they can find, and then they will win $50. What a horrible idea, but that's the premise of the movie. River Phoenix meets Lili Taylor, brings her along, and matters carry on from there. This is a really excellent film, really well acted by both of them, and it explores a lot of issues to do with adolescence and male bravado and body shaming, and obviously the times as well of being around Vietnam. So yes, superb film, really excellent, well worth watching. Next up, Vie de Château. This is a 1966 film from Jean-Paul Rappeneau, who went on to direct Cyrano de Bergerac with Gérard Depardieu. This stars Catherine Deneuve and Philippe Noiret. Philippe Noiret, who was from Cinema Paradiso, and Catherine Deneuve, this is a year before she did Belle de Jour. This is an excellent film, wartime film. It's a farce. I don't usually like farces, but this one is really well written, really well paced. It's set in 1944 in Normandy. Catherine Deneuve and Philippe Noiret are husband and wife who live in a crumbling chateau, and she wants to move to Paris. She wants excitement. Her husband, Philippe Noiret, is quite ineffectual, but here we are. It's 1944 and a French spy arrives to actually canvass the area out in preparation for the D-Day landings, and as well German troops arrive to set up camp, and both the platoon officer for the Germans and the French spy both have the hots for Catherine Deneuve. And a lot of farcical situations happen from there. This is really good fun, really well paced, really well written, superbly acted by all, hugely recommended. Next up we have from 1954 Sound of the Mountain, directed by Mikio Naruse. Now this stars two of the great actors from Yasujiro Ozu's Tokyo Story, So Yamamura and Setsuko Hara. It's a great touching drama with many affecting moments. Setsuko Hara plays a dutiful wife who's in a loveless marriage with a philandering husband. So Yamamura is the father-in-law who cares very much about her. Beautiful drama, well worth seeing, lots of touching moments. Next, from 2021, we have Zero Fucks Given. Oops, sorry for the language there. This stars Adele Exarchopoulos, who was really brought to fame in Blue is the Warmest Colour in 2013. So we're 10 years on from that film. Adele here is excellent, playing a flight attendant on a low-cost airline. The film really explores the kind of repetitive and tedious nature of some of the chores that flight attendants go through. But in this case as well, we're getting to see how Adele just goes along with that, and is kind of a little bit aimless and directionless, but will just carry on performing her duties, but she's actually masking a family tragedy. Well worth seeing, very good performance from Adele Exarchopoulos. Next we have, also from 2021, Bad Luck Banging or Looney Porn. This is a Romanian film, and be warned, it starts with a very explicit sex scene. The film itself concerns a school teacher who has a sex act with her husband records it, and oh god, the sex tape finds its way onto the internet, and the school and all the school mothers and fathers discover it, and so the teacher finds herself the centre of controversy. Now this goes in some pretty unusual directions and includes a pretty outrageous set of alternate endings, in definitely a freeze frame final shot which is very memorable. So yeah, no, this is definitely just an interesting film. I wouldn't say I hugely loved it, but it is an interesting film, definitely worth checking out. Next, from 2017, a documentary, Bombshell, the Hedy Lamarr story. Now, this film does focus on the life and times of the glamorous actress from the 1940s, but not just her film career. She was actually also an inventor. She had a very inventive and creative mind, and actually came up with a method of frequency hopping radio communication that became the basis of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS communications. Fascinating stuff, definitely worth seeing. Next, from 1973, Hard Labour, directed by Mike Leigh. Now, this was the first film that Mike Leigh did for the TV's Play for Today season, and I think it's a really interesting, bleak drama. And the more I think about it, the more I think that it would make an interesting companion piece with the film that's being much talked about lately from the Sight and Sound poll, the Jean Dielman 23 Quai du Commerce 1080 Bruxelles. Now, the reason I say that is not that they're similar films, but they're both in the 70s, both made around the same kind of time. And in this film, Liz Smith, superb performance, is playing a housewife and a housemaid. She's downtrodden, underappreciated. She's just going around doing her chores, doing her duties, doing her business. And there are some very interesting parallels, I think, between the two films. But yeah, completely different style of film. Here you've got a bigger cast, there's a lot more dialogue, but it is a really interesting film. Also notable for having early performances from Alison Steadman and Ben Kingsley and Bernard Hill. So yeah, Hard Labour, check that one out. Next, from 1947, It Always Rains on Sunday. This is directed by Robert Hamer, who was the director on Kind Hearts and Coronets and a segment of Dead of Night. This stars Googie Withers in a great performance, but this is an East End of London melodrama, and if you like, formed the basis for later on series such as EastEnders, where you're very much getting to see all types of goings on in an East End neighbourhood. Yeah, this is a really interesting melodrama to watch. Great performance from Googie Withers. Cinematography by Douglas Slocum, who went on to do such films as Raiders of the Lost Ark. So yeah, check this one out. And next we have, from 1978, Ridley Scott's The Duellists. This stars Keith Carradine and Harvey Keitel. It's a Napoleonic drama based on a Joseph Conrad novel. It involves two officers who have a feud that results in duels which go on for a period of 30 years. Very stylish film, great sets, great locations, great use of castles, great production design, lots of atmospheric smoke and lighting. Very interesting first feature from Ridley Scott. Okay, there you go. There's just a few recommendations. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do let me know if you've seen these films. Please do let me know if you know of a great physical media release for these films. And yeah, please do join me again for some more recommendations. Stay tuned for my channel. It would be great if you considered liking and subscribing. That would help me out. Yeah, please come back again for more stuff. And thanks very much for watching this one. Okay, I will see you again. Bye-bye.